Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for tuning in. And it continues. And the fallout continues. The news continues. And it's such interesting information here. Before we go any further, do us a big favor and hit the like button, share button, retweet button, or at whatever platform you're watching on right now. Please do that for us. We want to get every video past 2,000 likes. You really do need your support in relation to supporting the independent, non-corporate owned YouTube channel. So please make sure you're hitting those like and share buttons for us. Between ESPN, Fabrizio Romano, and a number of other outlets today, United's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's true transfer list has been revealed. And there were three primary main targets that he went to the board with back in March and said, ideally, these are the three players that I want to improve my team. Those players included Upamecano, Jadon Sancho, and Jack Grealish. What I will say is Alex Telles and Donny van der Beek were on the wish list for Ollie, but they weren't in the top three targets for the summer. And it does appear through one way, shape, or form, Manchester United rejected Ollie's transfer plan. They scoffed at the idea of 80 million for Jack Grealish, and they never entered any secondary talks. They didn't try to come to any kind of compromises. As soon as it was told or said to be 80 million, they walked away and said absolutely not. Of course, it's now been revealed that we did early conversations with Dortmund, but the Glazers rejected the idea of spending 120 million euros on Jadon Sancho. And the Upamecano deal, the club quoted a lot of money to sign him this summer, north of 50 million pounds. And they've decided to wait until next year when the release clause is in for, I think it's 51 million euros before looking to go ahead and sign Upamecano. Now, in the grand scheme of things, some people will say, well, that's not too bad. The pandemic and we're losing money and Jack Grealish was overpriced. We've signed a better player in Donny van der Beek. Maybe. The bit that starts to worry me, though, and really gets to me is the news around Edinson Cavani, that this is very much a Woodward signing. It isn't a player that Ollie wanted. It isn't a position that Ollie felt was a necessity this summer. Instead of going, you miss out on Jadon Sancho. Yes, we've gone for Amane Traore, which sounds like a really good piece of business. But no centre-back coming in. Can Man United cope for a whole season without a top-quality centre-back coming in and playing next to Maguire? Right now, the jury is out, but a lot of people would say absolutely not. But I want your views and I want your opinions on this. Do you think the club were correct in saying no to Ollie's primary targets and not wanting to spend the money on Jadon Sancho, on Jack Grealish, and Upamecano? These deals, if United had sanctioned them, collectively would have cost the club, just in fees alone, well over 200 million pounds. Is it right that they said no? Is it right that they decided to not spend north of 200 million pounds on transfer fees this summer? And of course, hundreds of millions of pounds more on agent fees, salaries, bonuses, and image rights for the next 5 years. Do you think it's right they said no now and they're looking to do this business next summer? Or do you think there's something maybe a little bit more sinister at play? Do you think, like some of the rumors are suggesting, that Manchester United are already thinking about life beyond Ollie and have decided not to commit to the signing that he wants at this stage, and they've gone for cheaper alternatives in the short term because they don't think he's going to see out the remainder of the season? There's a lot of theories going around. That's why we exist as the Football Terrace community, to give you the opportunity to come out and speak, have your say, and tell us what you think. Hit the like button right now. The Skype lines are open. If you want to call in via Skype, in the description below, you will see the name. Just search Football Terrace FC on Skype. You'll see our name. No problems there. Get that done. While you're also in the description, please go and subscribe to the Football Terrace Clips channel. There's brand new clips that KJ has posted today, so go check some of them out. They're brilliant. And let's delve into some of your live comments. Actually, we've got calls straight away. I've opened the Skype and there is calls galore coming in here. We've got Charlie on the line. We'll come to your comments in a moment. Charlie's with us. What are you saying, Charlie?
Hello. I think, Man United, they're totally right in not spending 200 million on their players, basically. like, all these transfer targets.
Yep.
Firstly, because, you got to get rid of players, to be honest. Like, you're not going to, how many players have you got on the, like, wage bill, to be fair? I think I've seen you got, like, Phil Jones and stuff on, like, over 100,000 a week.
Yep.
And similar situation with Arsenal. Like, you got to get rid of players to bring players in. And in my opinion, spending 107 million on Sancho when you can get, like, I know Sar's not as good right now, but there's nothing saying that he can't be as good as someone like Mane. When Liverpool bought in Mane, for example, like, nobody thought he would be as good as he is, in my opinion.
Yep.
And, it's just, you got to take a risk, and spending that much on a manager who hasn't, say, proven much. I know, you got top 4, but what has he actually shown apart from that gives him the right to spend 200 million on players, in my opinion?
Listen, I think, Charlie, thank you very much for your call. I really do appreciate that. I think you make some good points there in terms of, does Ollie warrant that amount of money? Thank you, Charlie. We definitely have you on again. Does he warrant spending that kind of money? It's a really good question. You, the viewers, can answer that right now. Leave your comments below. Get your super chats in as well. Next up on the show, we've got Courtney Riley. Courtney, what you saying? Are Man United right to have rejected Ollie's transfer plans?
Hey, Terry, you all right?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. Sorry, it's just my phone going off. Yeah, I mean, this is not really a surprise to me at all about what the Glazers have done and what Ed Woodward has done. Because for them, losing out roughly, every football match at Old Trafford is costing them £5 million. And over a season, including FA Cup, Champions League and Carabao Cup games, you're talking roughly over £100 million. Now, asking them to go out and sign a player for £100 million plus the agent fees and all that as well, they're just going to go, nope, we're not going to do that, because all they look at is the finances. They don't look at it from a football point of view. Now, that I can understand as well. And Jack Grealish, definitely really overpriced, £80 million. Again, that's just, I mean, I can't really understand this whole rumor thing going on as well about Pochettino, because him as a manager has not won anything, even as a player. He's going to cost a lot more per week in his salaries and whatever his agent wants to get paid. Ollie's on a lot less, and Ollie's won a lot more as a manager and as a player. So Pochettino for me is not an upgrade. I just think it's this whole instant gratification era we live in, where people are getting fed up. Oh, we're not winning anything. Let's just change the manager. We're slowly changing ourselves into the Real Madrid, Barcelona, and even Chelsea fans, which I don't like. Now, Edison Cavani, I think the Glazers have got really lucky with that, considering what's happened with Martial, even though he's not going to play against Newcastle because he's in quarantine. I like Donny van der Beek. We need an extra option in midfield. He's cheaper than Grealish as well. And Tellez, good option, keeps Luke Shaw on his feet. So I'm going to be optimistic about the season, and I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest and just give them a chance. But I really hope they don't sack Ollie by Christmas. I think the only reason they did that with Mourinho is because he was being a bit of a dick about it. He was playing people out of position, and he was trying to make a point. Whereas Ollie, he's not that kind of guy. He's going to do the best he can. And I really hope they don't get rid of him, because if they do, I can only see it going down here from here, Terry. I don't know what you think, but I'm really hoping that Ollie can do what he's done last summer and prove everyone wrong. These signings get us into, if we don't even get through to the next round of the Champions League, if we get into the Europa League and we win that, that'll be great. As long as Ollie wins a trophy this season, I'll be happy, and I'll be very thankful for him being our manager. Pochettino, stay clear, mate. You are trash.
Courtney, with some strong words there. And, what I would say to you is this. Everybody knows my thoughts on Ollie. I feel he's needed for the cultural reboot. Right now, it feels like the cultural reboot has been destroyed. I actually understand the financial element of saying no to Ollie's transfer targets. I don't overly disagree. The bit that concerns me is if we were never going to pay those fees, Why did it take us until the final day to sign Telles, Cavani, and these two very intriguing, very talented youngsters that have come to the football club? It's the approach. It's the wishy-washy, unplanned, scattergun approach. That tells me that the cultural reboot has been pulled away from Ollie, and the club's behaving how we did in 2013 again, how we did under LVG again. That's my concern. That's my worry about us moving forward, which is why, if we're not going to have a cultural reboot, keeping Ollie becomes non-essential, because I felt that somebody with red in their blood was needed to do that before we were ready for a higher quality manager. Whether people have an opinion or not, who is or isn't a high quality manager becomes very, very subjective. So that's a debate for another day. I just feel right now I don't have any faith in the business that we've done. I don't have any faith in the approach that we've gone with. And even if it's true that we said no purely on a monetary level, we could have spent the money sooner, got the deals in early, and there'd be a lot less problems. The fact that Woodward kept on promising Ollie and promising the squad and briefing the media that we were still highly likely to get Jadon Sancho. In fact, still telling Jadon Sancho until the very last minute that we were going to bid the money to get him. That's the bit that sticks in the back of my throat. It's not so much what's been done, it's how it's been done. But Courtney, really good call. Appreciate you coming on the show and having your say. We've got some super chats to do here. First one's from Yazim Sayed, who says, Juve hire a manager in Pirlo who has zero experience in management. He's legit finally receiving his coaching badges. And Juve are backing him. There's another super chat from Yazir again. It says, people say Ollie for got Cardiff relegated. Lampard failed to get Derby promoted. His level is Derby County, yet Chelsea backed him. And Mohammed here says, transfers aren't for Ollie. They are for the football team. I don't see Poch, etc., coming in and saying they don't want Sancho or Upper Meccano. Maybe not. I don't. Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm putting it out there as a theory that's being pushed around social media. Next up on the show, we've got man like Pav. Pav is back with us. Before we do that, though, hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen, right about now. Pav, what you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm just listening to call. I can't remember what he said now. He said something about we shouldn't be spending that amount of money on Jadon Sancho, but if we're a big club and we're big as Real Madrid and Barcelona, we have more fans in those clubs. This club makes so much money, and you're telling me that people are telling me that we shouldn't be spending around that much in player wages, the fee, the agent fees. If we're such a big club, why is that a problem for us to spend that much money? Like, if that was a problem, we should never have been talking to Jadon Sancho in the first place. Dortmund made it very, very clear how much money they wanted, and this club, I don't buy any of it. I really don't. Like, this club, they're just trying to act like they're like the big dons of football, and they get put in their place by every single team because they know who we are. They would rather sell a player to us for twice the amount of what that player's worth, and if we don't pay for it, they'd rather go sell that player at its original price to another team, because that's the sort of club we are. That's the sort of club that we have been turned into by this ownership, by this board. I don't buy into any of this, like, oh, the club's trying to save money. All this club cares about is keeping its money in its banks, and they will turn on Ollie, sack him just so the stock prices of Man United go up, and bring in another manager for the stock prices to go up. That's the sort of club we are. I don't trust this club anymore. I don't trust the ownership, and I don't trust the board. And I've listened to things like the last few days, and it's never going to change until the club changes ownership. It's never going to change. I don't understand that. Some people's theories, it's just, like, I'm not buying it, man. Like, oh, we're trying to save money, we're trying to change the culture. The culture is never going to change in this club. But Ollie's tried his best, and as far as I see it, Edward was just turned his back on him. He's looked at it and said, like, oh, I've given you time to change it. I don't like it. I'm going to do what I want again. That's what it is. That's how I see it.
Yeah, do you know
that guy don't care about Ollie. He don't care about his culture.
No, I understand that. I understand that, Pav. I think what's interesting, super chat here from Who Me that says, Terry, as a businessman and finance man, when you spend over $1 billion in the last 7 to 8 years, over 300 million on that defense, at what point does an owner say enough is enough? It's business. This is not for fans. I understand that view, Humi, there's two trains of thought I have. And I understand in this summer, in this moment, in this situation, saying no to those 3 deals. But why are we having to say no to those 3 deals? Because we have spent over $1 billion on this squad in the last 7 to 8 years. And the vast majority of those signings we spent above market price on. A huge percentage flopped. And then we renewed player salaries for deadwood players for years and years and years and years and years that have hemorrhaged hundreds of millions of pounds out the club. And by the way, that's all done under Woodward and Matt Judge's stewardship. And then we've also taken over £1 billion, 1.5, I think it is, maybe a bit higher, out of the club in dividends, loan payments, and interest payments. When you add the mismanagement of Manchester United and the poor running of the club from 2005 until now, I would say if you add out how much of that transfer fees and salaries are weighted, plus what they've taken out of the club, you're probably looking at nigh on £2 billion has been hemorrhaged out of this football club. So we shouldn't have had this situation. And that's why it's the bigger picture for me. So people can say, oh, look at the global situation. That's why we couldn't spend. No, that's myopic. The reason we can't spend is for the hemorrhaging of money years down the line. If I've got a good job and I earn really good money and I'm earning 10 grand a month and I'm earning 10 grand a month for 4 or 5, I'm earning 10 grand a month for 10 years, right? My mortgage is £1,000 a month. My overheads are another £1,000 a month. So I have a disposable income of about £8,000. I save a bit. I save none. We'll get to the point. Shopping, entertainment, everything else is another £1,000. So I've got £7,000 left of disposable income. If I spunk that up the wall every month, don't save a penny, spend it on gambling, alcohol, nights out, trash. And then in 15 years, my company suffers a bit of a problem and I get made redundant. And then I'm crying poverty because I've got no money. I haven't not got money because I've just been made redundant. I haven't got any money because I've decided to not save or prepare for this kind of situation. And that's where Manchester United are. A lot of people that get into financial difficulties is because they haven't planned for a situation where they may not have any income. And that's what Man United have done. The way we've run our football club, the way we have spent money, and the way we've hemorrhaged money out the club for 15 years in different ways, shapes, and forms has led to a situation where there's a pandemic, there's less money, and now we don't have the money to spend. So it's nothing. Yes, in the myopic sense, this one right now, that the pandemic's meaning we're losing money on match day revenue, can't afford to spend. But the reason we don't have the money sitting there in our bank accounts ready to spend, that nest egg, that safety net, money for a rainy day. It is the rainy day. This summer was the rainy day, and we don't have the money for it. That's the big problem. Pav, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Another super chat from Humi says, if I was a United fan, I would be more annoyed with the rebuild, how there are still so many players there robbing a wage. Rebuild, yes, and get rid of the trash first, then rebuild. I hear you, Humi. Lyle, thank you very much for becoming an Academy member of the Football Terrace. Over 2,000 people tuning in right now. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button as well. Really, really important to us as a platform that you get that done. If you want to call in, just search Football Terrace FC. The information is in the description below to get that done. You can phone up via Skype. Get yourself on the air. Have your say. We've got man like Danny Williams from Devil in the Details on the show right now. Ollie's transfer plans rejected. Give me your thoughts on that, mate.
Bear with me. Are you just going to make sure you're not getting any echo, are you?
No, mate. So, perfect.
Cool. So I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the whole cost was too high. And the reason why I'm not buying it is because the cost would have been spread. In the accounting, we know you spread that over the length of the contract. And they never attempted to offer Dortmund 108 million, from what I understand, and have a structure that takes into account our financial situation. On top of that, the offer that they allegedly made, I think it would have saved them maybe 25 mil, 30 million pounds. When you're talking that amount of money, and then you make an offer that maybe would have saved you 30 mil, because the 220 mils in total, when you include the agent fees and everything, was a bit too much. And then you don't explore anything else. And then we find out that you dropped the ball. Then we find out you basically lied to everybody and you were never, ever close to signing the player. this is typical PR spin. What I find interesting, though, I'm starting to think now, right? Is this the Glazers throwing Woodward under the bus? Is there a potential of that? Things that bad at the top where actually, I mean, people call Ollie a yes man, but is Woodward a yes man? Is Woodward just the front? Do we have, and this is a bit this is hyperbole, but do we have like some mafioso criminal organization running the football club? And this guy is just because
he's the fall guy. The fall guy.
Yeah, he's the fall guy because this smells fishy as hell, Terry. You know, even if it is a PR move, you're making Woodward look bad. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where's this leak? So nothing could leak out of the football club. So Ed Woodward could lie all summer long and nobody can know about it. Then we find out about this and he looks like the fool guy.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that, bro. I mean,
fishy as hell. But what I would say, beyond that though, like that's fishy. I think if you rack your head around trying to figure out what's true or not with Manchester United, you're going to go crazy. All we know is that Woodward and our owners are slime balls. Simple as that. In regards to the recruitment, Alex Tellers is a fantastic signing. Like the upgrade there, I'm sure you know that. Like, it's going to be so significant, so significant. As far as them abandoning Ollie in regards to his project, financially, yes. In terms of the player profile, no, because we wanted Dembele and we didn't pay the 50, 60 million, whatever Barcelona would have wanted to basically bring him to Old Trafford. The fact we were insistent and said, no, it's a loan, where we don't want to buy him, not even with an option to buy, tells me that the good work that Ollie's done in getting Woodward to understand if you don't get your number one target, don't go and waste money because you will regret it. That's why I don't think the project from that perspective is completely dead, because Cavani's only 1 year. We don't have to extend that deal. And the two 18-year-olds that we signed for the value of, even then, I think the total value is 60 million maybe, but even that's like half of that's add-ons. So actually, in spirit, these guys know that they've learned their lesson. The player profile that we're selecting is correct, but financially, who knows, mate? Who knows what the hell is going on with these people?
Do you know honestly? What, Dan? I think you make some really good points there. Definitely more faith than I've got. And you know what? Maybe if we bounce back after internationals and win a few games, you know, if this Palestri and Aman Traore that come in January, if they actually come in and impress us, then maybe we go, oh, okay. Like I've said before, what's thrown my head with this whole situation is how we conducted ourselves as opposed to what happened. And if this is all part of the plan, if the cultural rebuild is so... By the way, I don't think signing a 33-year-old goes against this cultural rebuild. People are being far too disingenuous with what is meant by that. The cultural rebuild isn't just buy young, only young, don't buy anybody that's above 25. That isn't what it ever was. It's about having players at the club that truly want to be here. It's about not having mercenaries. And interestingly, he's only on 100K a week that grows to 200K if he's scoring goals. So the monetary element of the business we did this summer, that's never been my argument. I think all the monetary side of things we've done is great. The situation with Dembele, not just, you know, even Dembele's element of it by saying, well, I'm not going to sign a new deal at Barcelona if I'm going to go out on loan. I want to either leave with another, like a buy, you know, whatever it may be.
But the fact we never actually tried to buy him tells me at least. No,
and I do get that. And I think they have learned from some areas. My issue with it all is the Jadon Sancho situation is the big elephant in the room, because we knew the Glazers were never going to sanction £108 million in terms of the fee plus everything else. Woodward getting the bad advice, they could turn them down. It's just, that's the bit that's the story. If we would have walked away, like I said, and over August and the beginning of September made all these signings, I would be far more relaxed than I am now. The Upper Meccano situation is a great example. If we go in from next year and get him for 50 million, but we were quoted 70 million this year, from a business standpoint, that makes more sense. And I know all summer I was talking about, I want us to behave better in the market. I believe we were trying to. And like I've said, getting Alex Tellez for 15 million quid is amazing. The problem is how we handled the Sancho situation and then the lateness of buying those other individuals. It stinks of Woodward and panic buys. But what I'm very open to being is wrong. What I'm very open to being, and I look at Aaron example, he is all, you know, El Matador FC. If Cavani comes in and kills it, if Tellez kills it, if these two young lads come in and they're amazing, and it's Aman Traore turns out to be as good as many people are predicting him to be, you know, then I'll say, listen, I have my hands up, I'm wrong about this. But right now, there's just something in the back of my mind that's telling me this. It just stinks of Woodward, and I'm worried and concerned about it, mate. We have a super chat here from Tel, who says, in NYC, the mecca of basketball, we have a team that will never win in the New York Knicks because of the owner, Jim.
It's John.
Dolan. He wrote Jim. He wrote Jim Dolan is an idiot. Same problem. Yeah, I don't watch basketball, but I hear you on that one. I really, really do. Someone here says we should sign Gunner. Do you know what? I would love a Premier League club to sign Gunnosaurus as a mascot. And imagine that. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be an amazing bit of Spurs should do it, you know? The player for a year. Should you know what? How much does it cost? 30 grand a year. That's nothing to football players. Let's all chip in and let's have Gunnosaurus as our mascot for a year in the Tottenham kit. The banter on that is amazing. Like legitimately, the banter on that would be amazing. Somebody should get it. Someone should actually go out and get that done. They really, really should. But listen, we want your views. We want your opinions. We're going to add to the call now. Huss is going to come on the line with me and Danny. Huss, what do you make of these rumors that the board stopped Ollie's transfer plans? Do you think they were right in doing this? What's your opinions, mate?
Hello, Terry.
Yes.
Finally, I was just about to go off on you. This is Mandy. Mandy, I'm calling from DC, and I'm a United fan, of course.
Yes, man. Go for it, bro. Tell me what your thoughts are about our transfer dealings this summer. The report that the Glazers said no to spending that much money. Go for it, bro.
I've been listening to your show, and honestly, the deadline day, I was really mad about how the dealings went. But then after analyzing the situation, I feel like they did a decent job, considering the most important part is that kid, Adama Traore. Man, that's a talent right there. I've seen so many youngsters play, and I've seen so many videos of youngsters, but that's an all different level of potential right there. With the right guidance, that kid is going to be a superstar, but that's for the future. But if we couldn't afford Jordan Sancho, we shouldn't have given into the pressure of Borussia Dortmund, you know? And I heard you saying we did the transfers. We had to wait for the last minute to get Alex Telles. But if we made the Alex Telles deal earlier on in the season, everybody was going to think Manchester United have money to pay for everything else, which means everybody else's price was going to be jacked up. So I think they did a good job to just wait until the last day to get that deal over the line. And on the issue of Cavani, Cavani is a very good cover for Anthony Martial because we did need a backup striker and a pretty good replacement for our Nigerian brother. So pretty much it wasn't that good at all. But after analyzing everything, I think it was okay.
You know what? I hear that, bro. Listen, I love the optimism. And I'm not going to shout it down. I don't feel the same right now overall. But listen, I respect the fact that you do. We have a super chat here from M3-824 that says, love how after the Sancho deadline, every United fan on the show praised the board for not giving in. Now pure chaos for not giving in. So you misinterpret it, bro. Man United fans have no issue really with not spending £108 million on the player. What Man United fans have a problem with is that Woodward continued to brief the board, the players, the manager, the media all summer that we could get the price down, that we knew what we were doing. And in the final week, a bid of X, Y, and Z would do it. And that absolutely flopped. What Man United fans are saying is when the deadline passed, because we were not prepared to pay 108 million because we didn't think it was value in this market and climate, we should have moved on to the other deals and we didn't. We continued to fight for him. It's not what we did. It's how we went about it. Nobody's angry, really, with the Telles signing. Nobody's angry with the Donny van der Beek signing. Nobody's upset about signing Pedestri. Nobody's upset about signing Traore. No one is. The Cavani deal, everybody's split on because of when, age, fitness concerns. But again, if all these deals would have happened sooner, people would be less relaxed. It's not what we have done. It's how we've gone about it because it stinks of the summer of 2013. It stinks of what we did to Jose in the summer of 2018 when we didn't get in what he wanted, but we brought in other people when we knew things were coming to the end. The muted talks of Poch already being spoken to. This is the difference. I appreciate the super chat, but it's slightly off, I think, in terms of what people are actually thinking and feeling. But that's my views. If you feel different and you are fuming or you are happy, phone in via Skype now. All the information is inside the description below. Search Football Terrace FC and you'll find us. Who Me with another super chat here says, I feel like for years, the days we sold off our club to billionaires who will make the club's world better, it comes to bite many clubs now in the backside when it doesn't happen for the fans. Listen, there are many, many billionaires that have bought football clubs that have run them into the ground. Ask my brother who's a Leyton Orient fan. Trace MUFC here says, I'm not saying the Glazers have no blame, but our biggest problem is Woodward and his ego. Another comment here says, basically, grass is not always greener on the other side. People wanted billionaires to make their clubs great. We got it, and now we've lost our club's history. Bashir here says, further technical issues with the structuring of the Sancho deal. And from my information, it's even sadder that you think love to share. I work for a Saudi fund. Okay, bro, thank you very much for that. Yeah, listen, it is sad. And the worst bit is, I mean, people saying today, like Fabrizio come out and said, if United would have bidded the actual amount at the end, this is what makes it sadder. If Man United would have bidded the money on deadline day, Fabrizio thinks it would have gone through. The point is, the Glazers told Woodward would never do that. If they would have briefed us as fans, we'd have got over it. That's why it hurts. Anthony, super chats galore right now. Anthony here says, Ollie got Harry Maguire and AWB. We already had Lindelof. I believe Ollie had a playing style in his head and got them. Now it's being said that Harry and AWB are not good enough. One side is slow and the other can't cross. It's the system that's been changed slightly. You know, Daniel educates us more on that, but you know, our fullbacks are playing more narrow. We're pushing our defenders further up the pitch when we're attacking. There is fundamental differences between this year and last year that are creating the problems at the back. For me, it isn't they're not in great form, but I don't think it's the individual players that are the main problem here. I think it's the system.
Can I make a point in regards to that comment?
Yeah.
Very quickly. So we were supposed to get a left-sided centre-back. That was briefed. We changed our mind. That was a massive mistake. Beyond that, it's all about how you build the back four. It's very, very easy to look at Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but, you know, we put it to you like this. Patrice Evra, athletic, good attacking fullback. Next to him, a player who wasn't very athletic, but excellent in the air and a good tackler in Vidic. Good athlete in Rio Ferdinand next to him. And then Gary Neville, who was more of a tactical, positionally intelligent fullback. Balance. All four of those players had some kind of weakness, not big weaknesses, but some kind of weakness. That's how you build a back four. And next to Maguire should be a left-sided centre-back that complements whatever Telles' weaknesses are going to be and whatever Maguire's weaknesses will be.
Absolutely. And if we look at the Liverpool situation for a moment, Liverpool have changed their system slightly. You know, they're pushing up with this higher line, trying to catch people offside. Their system has changed defensively in the last, not this season, but it's been different for quite a while now. And suddenly, the Robertsons, the Maguire, the Vidic's, the Van Dijks, the Gomez's, and the Trents are being exposed to their weaknesses more than they had done before. You can't tell me that one of the best defenses in the Premier League for 2.5 years is these players have suddenly become bad. They've shipped as many goals as Man United this season. Look how many errors leading to goals from Robertson, from Maguire, from Trent, from Gomez have happened already this season. They haven't changed as football players. It's the system that they're now playing that has led to this. Or someone sussed the system and they found a chink in the armor and they're exploiting it. Now it's nothing to do with the individual players at Liverpool, and it's nothing to do with the individual players are making mistakes because they're being exposed by opponents. It comes down now to the managers to orchestrate their system to counteract that. It's chess. It's as simple as that. Sometimes a player, yes, you look at individual moments. Bay switching off for one of the goals as an example. Luke Shaw not going with a runner. You know, Maguire, like individual mistakes are leading to it. But it's because they're feeling the pressure because there's holes everywhere and they're being pulled from pillar to post. You can't go from having two of the best defenses in European football last year in Liverpool and Man United to having two of the worst in European football this season without a big element of it being system and tactics, not in my opinion. Yas here with another super chat says, I live in America and watch the NFL. The amount of investment done to the Buccaneers, who are owned by the Glazers, is phenomenal. Maybe Man United helping fund that, I don't know. Orlando here says, what we see and what we hear, not from the press, but from Ollie and Woodward, are the opposite ends of the spectrum. The trust is broken. Do you guys think the trust is broken between Ollie and Woodward, or do you think that it's salvageable, Dan?
If what has come out is true and Ed Woodward was told you can't afford it and then he dropped the ball again, then the trust, it will be broken. Ollie will know, basically, Ollie will, all that means to me is if the trust is broken, it probably is, it could be repairable. All these things are possibilities. But what it does mean is Ollie will lower his expectations. And unfortunately, I don't want to say lower your expectations as Man United fans. Just remember that Ed Woodward is the chairman. And from now on, if he could lie like this all summer long, what do we believe moving forward? That's what I would say. And Ollie, unfortunately, imagine having an employer and you can't believe what he says. So actually, no, as I'm talking about this, the trust is broken.
Bro,
trust is broken. So let me elaborate. In terms of Ed Woodward giving his word and you believing him, but like I said, that Dembele deal, I was convinced we dropped the 50, 60 mil on him, and the fact that we didn't tells me at least he understands Ollie's vision in terms of if you don't get another one target, don't.
I agree. We've switched the chat to member only chat and super chat only.
I got a dip, bro.
All right, bro. I'll speak to you soon,
thanks
bro.
Thanks for having me on as always, man.
Top man. Take care of yourself. Thank you. We've gone to member only chat and super chat only for the last 5-10 minutes of this show, purely as a massive thank you to all of our members who are helping grow this channel. We've taken on Maya Graham, who is now going to become the new host of our first ever ladies only podcast. We're just working on dates to get that out. Big new website in development for the Football Terrace as well. Kits, actual Football Terrace football kits are going to be out. Training kits available very, very soon as well. Football Terrace FC. And that's massively thanks to all of the members. If you want to sign up and become a member, it's from as little as 99p per month. As the website and as all the new hosts get onboarded, we're going to have a lot more content. There is a gaming channel starting very soon as well, which members get full access to moving forward. You can sign up right now by clicking on the link in the description below. Some super chats here. The first one from Tahir Khan, who says, Chelsea fan here, Roman might not always buy the right players, but he supports the team financially better than most in the sports world. He does. That element of Roman Abramovich is undeniably brilliant. There's no doubt about that. Comment here from a member says, some of it may be a lack of Ollie's tactics, his selection, but also we have many holes in our team. It becomes a combination. If you create a new system that exploits the weaknesses of your players, it's highly likely that you're going to concede lots of goals. It's happened at Liverpool and it's happened at Man United. Tomo here with a super chat says, Terry, do you think our spending is done, or are we looking at our English leagues for more spending depth? I don't know. I hope we buy somebody else, but I don't know if we will. Luke here, one of our members, says, hey, Mark says, good ideas. Luke says, can we get a sneak peek of the kits when they're done? So one of the elements we've added now for members only is pics and updates, behind the scene things will now be published to you on the community page here, which you all have access to. So as the kits are ready, that will happen. The new badge is being designed at the moment. So there'll be a brand new Football Terrace badge kits. We're going to be having some snapbacks made and some other things as well. Seymour Taylor Jr., thank you very much for upgrading and becoming a first team member. Ultra67, thank you for your comment. Thank you to Carl and to Jamie for becoming Academy members of the Football Terrace. We really do appreciate that. Ultra67 here says, let Ollie build his team and then we judge. This negativity has to stop. I hear you, bro. I hear you. My negativity isn't towards Ollie or the team. It's towards the board, but I hear you. Off topic, any news on the TFT baseball caps? Yes, bro. They're in design. Once we get our new logos done, and they're in development right now, then we were going to go to the company. The snapbacks will be made, and then we'll make them available to you. We're going to be having football kits made, a few tracksuits made, a few beanie hats made, and a few other bits and pieces. So proper Football Terrace merch is on the way very, very soon. Football Terrace FC merch is here. Red Bandit for Life says, Terry, what do you think will be our formation going forward? Honestly, bro, I would love to see a 4-3-3, but I do think we are going to stick to a 4-2-3-1. That's my view. That's my opinion. I hope it does change, though. I do hope it. I hope, you know, like in life, sometimes when you hope you're wrong, I legit hope I'm wrong about that. Sadiq Rahman here. Terry, what would you think about going into the championship to get a right back like Max Aarons? Do you know what, bro? Right now, I'd love us to go to Norwich and buy 3 players from them. I'd love us to go there right this second and be like, yo, Buendia, Cantwell, Aarons, boom, boom, boom. There's 45 million for all of you, 50 million for all of you, or at least 2 of them. I'd love us to go and do that. I really would. It would give us some strength in depth. They're better than what we have in those positions. And even if they don't work out, you can sell them next summer at a profit. No doubt about it whatsoever. Hit the like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. Member-only chat for a few more minutes for us. We're going to start doing this on 3 or 4 streams a week now, where we're going to go member-only. You can become a member for as little as 99p per month. It's nothing. There are 4 tiers. You can become an academy member, squad member, first team member, or a legend of the channel. Neek Sports in the house says, is Fred now key going forward since Matic and Pogba are consistently exposed in the double pivot? I think so. Listen, I think Fred and McTominay's partnership was brilliant for months. I'm not saying you can get both of them in the team, but Fred's energy is needed. I feel like with Fred, you win the ball, Fred, and then give the ball to Pogba and Bruno, or Pogba and Van der Beek. That's what I would love to see happen. I really, really would. Another comment here from a member says, as long as we are in the top 4, we won't be getting our top targets. Carl says, set up a GoFundMe page and purchase Man United. I'd love to, bro. I would really love to do that. But there we go. Listen, everybody. Jamie here, the member says, I remember watching you have hope on in the studio room. Yeah, man, that was years ago now. I do miss the Fan Park Live studio. I don't miss a drive. It's actually a 2-hour drive from my house. So it was a 4-hour round trip. And I used to go there 4 or 5 times a week. It used to kill me, that journey. It used to kill me. But I do miss the boys. Miss being in there with Neeks, Adam, Have Hope, Devo. Who else used to come in regular? Kane. Yeah, man. Ahmed here of a super chat says, Terry, quick question. Do you think Woodward could pull off a masterclass due to the COVID, because it's going to get worse rather than better? Maybe more will need to be sold in a few months. Maybe. Let's see how that goes. It could end up being a masterstroke. Who knows? Devo, more like the legendary McDevo. I like that. Neek's back here again, says Fred and McTominay, definitely partnership underrated. We and Ollie get overly excited post-lockdown form. Yeah, I do think so. Thank you very much to 10K subs with 1 video challenge for becoming an Academy member. I really do appreciate that, bro. Thank you very much for signing up. Javern, capture that. Yes, Neeks. That was the one, bro. I forgot about Javern. Sorry, I shouldn't. Javern's my guy. I love Javern. Yeah, bro. Those were the days. I love those days, bro. Who knows? If TFT Media keeps growing like this, maybe in a year or so's time, we could be back to that level, bro. But this time we're running the show. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, past 170,000 subs. I think once we get to 300,000 subs, maybe we can do that. You know, if we can get to maybe 2,000 members on the channel, maybe we could do that. The more of you that sign up as members, the better the content will get over the course of time, no doubt. But listen, everyone who's tuned in today, thank you. We really do appreciate it here. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. But wow, 8 o'clock tonight, by the way, that Chelsea show's back. Anita back in the house. Make sure you're tuning into that Chelsea show. They're rating their summer transfer window, redoing their top 6 expectations, plus more chat. So please, it's over 2,000 of you watching now. Make sure you're tuning into that Chelsea show tonight at 8 p.m. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. See you soon.